Eskrima and Silat from Dance. Let's start with the really basic entry. So he's gonna, he's gonna strike. I'm gonna claw to the eyes as I go under ridge. That's the first part. Okay, I'll be right. So yeah, this position. If he close, go ahead and close it. Next time, right? You go with throw, claw, you strike to the flavor, whichever you like for your under the rig entry. I'm hunting for this. Cup gear, pull that up, kind of this way, or if you can use this way, pull that.
Well, there, get out of those.
So, here, oh yeah. I'll unweigh so that I can move that leg. I'll come to this position here. If I go this way, I'm gonna kick this way. If I go this way, I'll kick that way. I really just want to stomp on the knee here. Follow? Yeah? Do you need more than that? Right, even step two, and break the arm as we walk out. If you like, you got it? Try it first. Several variations, please. Right? So, I'm coming here underneath the bridge. I like to throw to the eyes personally, but claws more traditional. I'll take this hug, cover here. I'll take the step here, dance. I could tweak this. You can also push on it. Not yet, right? The other option I had from here is kick. Right? Does that make sense? So I'll do that again. So you have 3 different choices for that takedown at the end. So I'm coming through here, I'm moving this way, come through here. So that's the one that you guys were just working on. I get to this position, I could just shift to there, or through here like this, come through here like this, and then just stop through it from there. You guys got that? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes on that. I'm gonna switch styles. So, similarly to what Guru Graham is teaching you guys, a lot of you guys are missing the part where I'm just kind of taking space, right? It's a crowding kind of style. There's different kinds of silat, right? So you could crash, right? I can dive, right? I could just move in, but a trend takes space. So part of the difficulty you guys are having is in your takedowns, so maybe you're kind of struggling, is because you're allowing the other person to maintain their structure and their space while you try to fold around them and make them fall over. That's not the way it works, right? Does that make sense? So, as an example, I kept up here like this, it could here. Now I'm bringing it to me instead, right? That's the one we can do now, right? You see how I did that? So we do that here. So I would here, step. So now I'm bringing him to me instead of me going to him, right? Then I bring this over here like this, hook this here. That was nice to Patrick. I didn't actually wrap his other hits, really what I want to do, right? Now, if I want to finish this, I can come through here like this. Come here. All right, can you guys do that? So let's take it in pieces. If I prefer, I come in that way if I like. This is the part that gets the off arrows, right? And then that gets his head, so I can tuck and I can look. So this is where you want to be. You guys got that? That's the grip that you're follow. If he wiggles out because he needs to resist, just right? You don't need a fancy technique, right? That's a nice entry. You guys ready to try that? Right. I'm not very good at this, but I like it a lot, right? So he's gonna I want you to jab, cross, round this. So jab, cross, round. I want you to get to my waist, all right? So jab, cross, round this. Can we work on that combo? Is that okay for you guys? So I'm gonna out here, I'm gonna break back, and then I'm gonna come through you out of this. Yes, totally sure about it with insurance, right? Before. So once I come to this position, I'm gonna put. I'm with this here. I was gonna right from the previous to this position. See how I did that? You just slap with your elbow. So, I'll break that, move with this. Sure, strike it, you've got it, but you're gonna put your elbow right there, and you're gonna kneel, and then you're gonna come back up, so they get to the outside. Does that make sense? If you want, you can always end this way. If you want something more so personally, I'd rather just pancake him, but if you want to break his leg, that's how you do that. Do I need to do it again?
Yes.
So this stop, you can defend against this any way you like, right? I'm breaking that. You can defend against that any way you want. I'm just doing a cupcake here, right? As I do that cupcake, turn it. Yeah? I don't need to get here. All I need to do is this. But I need to do this. The reason why is if I stay here, you see that problem? So I'm just going to turn here. And as you want that E-bar, it's right there. Got it? So I'm going to continue what I taught yesterday, which is this block. But what I want to do is when I do this, I want to suck it in real tight. I want to be nice here. I want him to trap me. And I'm going to hit anyways. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to this hit. He's going to block that. I'm going to check it. I'm going to hit. So the basic that we use is here, 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 there. That's the basic. Or it's here, the here. Depending upon the generation that you learn. This is on. So I'm going to play with that. But he gets to move when I get to move. Right? So when I get to move, that's where that key is. That's the base encounter that already calculates counterattacks after I've received the attack. So as soon as I receive, I'm in the lead, even though he's the one that initiates. Follow? So I'll do that again one more time. We'll take it places. All I want is this here, trash. So what the last strip is talking to you about is I've used a give it premium in that mark, right? I can still hit. As long as my stick is longer than 8 inches, so left hand. So I use about a 26-inch stick. The old Serrana from the 1960s to the 1970s used a longer stick. You trap me, I still hit you, I don't care. So I know the hit, there's my check with my hit. Right there. If I want a lock, I'll lock this way, I'll hit or I'll lock that way. That's the way you want to interpret that, right? But that's how that works. So we do it again. Here, this is the first part I want you to get. If you can get the rest of this, he just stopped that. He stopped that too. Back here. Follow? Shall I do it again? Yes. So, in the air, I'm doing this. Oh, okay. That's what I just did. But he gets to respond, right? So you get to do something with that. So that's what that is. This thing about follow and then shoot. Get the first part. Walk. Here. I'm going to receive. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to hit. Fall. So. Up. So what I'm doing is I'm making a cross. Right? So I'm just coming through and making a cross. But here's the problem that I see. Some of you, if you're making this position at all, they're pointing it down. Right? So if he's walking and he's pointing this down, he has no way to resist this. Now I'm not going to do this. But if my weapon is heavier than he calculates for, inertia and mass is here, he stops here, this becomes the new axis point, and it follows through anyways. So if you're like Doctor who's got an axe handle, you see this block and you're like, great, that's awesome. Yeah, you stop my hand, but you're not stopping the tool, right? But if I have my tip slightly up, now I create a different kind of geometric experience, and there's resistance there just from the shapes. Not from his straights, just from the shape. Does that make sense? So, you guys gotta catch this block by pushing, right? This, like this, and going like this, and going like this, and then it all happens at once, and then I bring it down, right? He hits, I hit, so here, I continue the rotation and go here like this, because that's a blade, I don't really care about that, right? So, I trap. He gets to stop that too, which allows me to either pluck or wipe. So I pluck and come here and take a lock, right? Or I could wipe and come through here and take that same lock in a different way, right? Or if I want, I could just trap it in the other hand. Or I could go all those things in a headbutt, right? Or I could switch to a different line. But that's how I'm getting to my entry. Once I receive, I'm on the attack. I'm on the attack. You follow? So the next part that I need to get beyond the catch is this up hit. He gets a block any way he wants, right? So he can use a stick, he could brace it, he could do the hand, it doesn't matter to me. This is the next piece. I am expecting him to do something. Now the other side of it is he gets to hit too, right? So he pins and he begins to hit. Now remember the technique he just did. You just do the Serrana again. Restaurant, if you prefer. Right? Does that make sense? Can you guys do that part? Or continue. Sir? What are you guys doing? Guys are all experienced martial artists. Why the F bomb are your just your left hand down when you're not using it? Who did any of your instructors say, this is how I attack? And the other hand dangling. Seriously, guys. There's other people around you swinging sticks. It behooves you to have your hand out just in case someone else is wild. Let alone yourself or your partner. The other part of it is the reputation of your teachers. I'm going to walk away thinking your teachers and you'll think it's okay for you to have your hands down. Think about that. All right? Sorry. I have a thing about that. So, stop. All right. So, I come and I do this thing here, right? Who says I have to wait? So, the problem with the way that all martial arts is taught for the most part is I have your receipt. So, start again. Once he goes through here, I can move in with the same catch. I don't have to wait for him to strike. In fact, as soon as he loads up, I get to move. So my motion becomes an attack here. So I want you to practice that way. So if the feet come out, right? See, he indicates this line. So I receive with an attack. So now, does that make sense? Same catch. Bring it back close chest, hit worth. Yeah? I don't need to wait till he extends. Right? So there's he strikes me, I catch it during. He strikes me, I go after. He begins to strike, I go before. And I'm using the same catch. Right? It's the to close. That's what it means. Right? But it's say close on his attack. So it's close. Close after his attack, close during his just close or his attack. Same technique, use 3 different choices. Right? Does that make sense? So when you're doing this, come in so that you stop this, right? And then you can through that. Right? Does that make sense? Now, here's the nice thing. He can still extend my empty space. It doesn't change the movement I'm doing. Yeah, because he can extend it doesn't matter to you. Right? I hook through your and still do that. You follow? And the size track this I'm pretty sure I went on. They'll see that Lakeshire. You see that a lot of different arts, mosquito martial arts. Cool, your catch is loose, right? So when we want to go somewhere before the time of cell phones, we would really find the destination on the back and work our way back, right? The destination is your catch, because if the catch doesn't work, it doesn't really matter, right? All the trapping and hitting is we can't survive the blow, cool, right? So one way that we can do this is, we'll follow along later, but he comes. First of all, I gotta get this catch. My hands, my hand is close to my stick is close to my hand. At the weak part of his attack, this is the least amount of force he can transmit, whereas that's the most amount of force he can transmit. He has more leverage here, more explosive power here in the swing, right? And I can apply leverage over him better. So it's an easier way for me to stop this, right? So the first thing for me to do, make sure this, then what's gonna happen, I think, course, Lonnie, switch game, is we start pressuring, right? Just to see how that works. So see how this feels. This is as a person is really pushing. How does that feel? Does that feel stable, right? How does this feel? Does this feel stronger? That's the destination that you want, right? And then he'll notice, just like Pyramid was teaching earlier about Coster, as he seeks into his forward legs, right? He's not winning, right? Nah. He's just beginning in that leg. Oh, and he'll be just holding up there without a lot of force. Especially if he brings his elbow down just a little bit more. No, don't bring your elbow, just bring your elbow there. Right? Then what happens is the rest of his body gets engaged. Right? And he can persist this without peeing. Right? So I want you to try that exercise. Not very different like in Goju where they do the stance testing and they push and kick each other in that stance. This is the same idea. I'll fight to Eskrima. What I would do is, can he brace for this position? Right? Now if he switches his feet to the other position, can he brace for this position? Because this is where the power is coming from, right? So try to adjust this position. Notice how his hands are close together. Notice how this fits pointing up. How does that feel when you do that? What are you seeing? Now, the old way is for me to be able to see underneath my hands to my opponent's eyes. I should be able to see next. This is ultimately the position I want. You got it? Try. I got 2 minutes. See you. My name's Jason. I do Serrano. I've been doing it for 45 years. This is what little fly.
Today.
Five.
I hope you enjoyed our sailor.